This weekend I started a new sketchbook, so I thought I would take you along with me as I fill out a double spread of plants in gouache, and maybe you can join me with your sketchbook too. I think the easiest way to break that first page or blank page fear is pick something that you are really liking in the moment and do multiple studies of it in its many shapes and forms. Maybe use different techniques to capture it, which is what I did a little bit later on in this spread. For my first few studies though, I approached them how I normally do with gouache, and I just had a really relaxing time painting this spread. And relaxing was kind of the intention I set before starting. This wasn't for any specific kind of project or anything, so I could really tune into the process and try to tap into that flow state that I love so much, but I'm not always able to tap into. And it's just nice to paint things that you like and make them as visually pleasing as you want. I think it's really easy to have really high expectations of yourself as an artist and think that everything that you create must be moving you forward towards like finding your style or bettering your skill in some sort of way. But this weekend I reminded myself it's also really okay to just paint or draw things that I want just because they look nice and they bring me joy in some way, and I'm not doing anything groundbreaking, but I like doing cute illustrations and small paintings of things. Like, I definitely have my goals, and sometimes I find myself thinking that every single thing I do with my art has to in some way contribute to those goals, but I can also just play with my art materials and have fun. On this particular illustration, I used more water with my gouache, so kind of having it look and act more like watercolor. And I love the look of watercolor in general, but I find gouache to be more forgiving because it can be reactivated with water and kind of controlled better, or at least I feel like I can control it better. But I think that using gouache in a more diluted way with more water is a good step towards getting used to how watercolor behaves, and I really loved the look of it in this little plant study. So you may have noticed I'm on a different table than usual, so I just wanted to quickly share with you this standing desk FlexiSpot kindly gifted to me, where I'm now able to paint and do art things while standing, which is so amazing to me as I literally always stand over my regular desk, which makes my posture so bad. But now I can regulate the height of my desk, and I have little preset buttons here where I can pre-save my favorite heights depending on what I'm doing. And I can also plug in my phone to charge, which is super useful because I film all of the overhead shots of my videos with my phone. It also has a little drawer, which is really convenient, and it's such a perfect size too because it's not too big, so it fits perfectly in my small space, but it's big enough that I can have all my art and painting stuff on it. I'll link the exact desk I have below. It's the Comhar all-in-one standing desk, and they have a 30-day risk-free return policy if you want to try it out. I had been seeing really positive reviews from artists for a while, so I was really excited to try it out, and I can confirm it definitely deserves all the positive reviews it gets. So thank you so much FlexiSpot for gifting this for review. So I've been wanting to try this negative watercolor painting technique for a while. I'm looking at a lot of watercolor art and content at the moment. I just love how this technique looks. So I really just went for it, and I was inspired to use a photo of these flowers. I forget what they're called, but I've seen other artists like Pear Fleur, one of my favorite artists on YouTube. She did a negative watercolor technique painting with these plant shapes. Initially, it was going very well. I just love the effect it has with those crisp lines that it makes from going from that light layer to the dark layer. It's so different to how I normally use paint. But then I got to a point where I made a mistake with putting down too dark of a colour in my lightest area, which flattened the contrast a bit too much. And then I wasn't sure of how to do the flowers, so I decided to paint over them in gouache, so it kind of killed the effect a bit. But even looking back at this footage now, I'm really excited to try it again, so I'm definitely going to be playing around with this technique more in this sketchbook. So for this video, I've done less speed painting editing and more real-time editing, so you can see the pace of my real brushstrokes. And I love watching speed painting, but I also feel like it doesn't capture the true essence of the process. But I also know that you have to be really in the mood to watch real-time painting, but hopefully you're watching this with your sketchbook and doing your own painting or drawing along with me. I love doing that so much. Putting on all my favorite YouTube artists and painting along with them. It feels like you're sharing the process, and then when I look at the art that I make while I do that, it sparks the memory of the video that I was watching or listening to, and it kind of adds to the experience. I hope also by doing more real-time paced videos you can see how I work with gouache a bit more. I've had some requests to do different tutorials, which I'm really considering doing. I just want to figure out how to best approach a tutorial in the most useful way for you. Anyway, I'm still very much in the process of finding my style, which I know is a journey that never really ends, but I definitely want to get closer to a way of expressing myself through paint and art that really captures what I want, and this style of illustration really fulfills part of what I like, but I know there is more out there that I can do with it, and I'm excited to see where this sketchbook goes. I really love that feeling of starting a new sketchbook. I feel so curious as to what the pages will be filled up with, even though I know I'm the one that is going to be filling it up. I'm like, what will Sophia of the future do with this? So this is how the spread turned out, and I think it's cute. It's made me want to look more into watercolor with a negative technique painting, and I just love it when you finish something and it leads you to want to explore more of something else. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!